Hello, this is Elizabeth, and as you can see, this is the spiral flower, which is with 10 petals. This is the bigger flower. So far I haven't made any video on this, but you can find a written pattern on my blog. People who like my Facebook page, they already know about it. But I've made a video on this tiny five petal spiral flower, which you already know about, and I've actually uploaded 2 videos based on this. The second video is more clear about where to insert your hook and work stitches at the back. Okay, this is the smaller one and this is the bigger one, and this is actually the first video ever made. I'm making on 10 petal spiral flower. Okay, let us start with the tutorial. Okay, and this pattern works for yarn of any thickness, and you have to choose your hook according to your yarn thickness. And this begins with a chain of 13, whereas for the smaller one it was only chain of 7, but this is with chain of 13. So now let's start working chain of 13, and I'm using a hook which is numbered like this, like 2x0 and 3x0. I quite have no idea about it. It's a double-sided hook, but I'm using the one side which is numbered 2x0, and it's actually quite similar to the 2.25 mm hook I use, and this is a sock yarn. Okay, now let's start off. Work a chain of 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay, now okay, now you have to work a single crochet in the second chain from the hook, which is this chain actually, the same way as you worked in the 5 petal, but here the stitches are different since it is a bigger one. Working a single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and work another single crochet in the next stitch, so you have a total of 2 single crochets. And in the next you're working a half double crochet, and working another half double crochet into the next one, so total of 2 half double crochet. As I said, stitches are different, the number of stitches are different, so you have a total of 2 single crochet and 2 half double crochet. Next, you're working a double crochet into the next stitch. There are a total of 3 double crochets in this 10 petal. Working second double crochet into the next one, working the third one, so you finish 2 single crochets, 2 half double crochet and 3 double crochets. Now you are left with 5 blank chains where you haven't worked any stitches, and here the triple crochet stitches follows. So a 10 petal flower has an extension of triple crochet stitches. So you're working 5 triple crochets into the next 5 chains, 1 in each. 1, working your first triple crochet, 2, oh sorry, it's just 1. This is the second one, third one, fourth, and the last triple crochet. So you finished working all the stitches here, which is 2 single crochet, 2 half double crochet, 3 double crochet and 5 triple crochets. So next what you need to work is, as you know, a crab stitch. Chain 1, work a chain of 1 after you finish all the stitches, and then insert the hook in the previous stitch. Yarn over and pull through. You'll get two loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through both the loops, and insert the hook in the next chain. Yarn over and pull through both the loops. Like this, you're working all the way down to the beginning of your work. And you can, if you don't want to have a crab stitch, I've seen some flowers which doesn't have this crab stitch. Instead of doing a crab stitch, they have done slip stitch to the beginning of your work. Just turn your work around and slip stitch. But I don't know, I like this crab stitch, which gives a cabled look. I like the crab stitch instead of slip stitch. Almost getting there. And doing a final crab stitch on the very first single crochet you made. Okay, now you did complete stitching the crab stitch all the way around, and immediately after you finish crab stitching, immediately you have to chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. This is actually the foundation for the second row's single crochet. Okay, now you're working a single crochet in the second chain from the hook, same as the first row. Yeah. And this is the back of the work. This is the back of the single crochet. You can see it's the first single crochet, this is the second single crochet, and this is the 2 double crochet. The stitches behind the double crochets are a little slanted downwards, but whereas the stitches behind this double crochet and triple crochets, where you can see a small bump like, you need to insert into that. Never insert your hook into the crab stitch because that spoils the work. You need to insert the hook behind the crab stitch. And yarn over, and you need to work, you have completed working 2 single crochets, you're working 2 double crochets, working your first half double crochets, working your first half double crochet, inserting the hook in the first row's single crochet you made behind the single crochet, stitch behind the single crochet below the crab stitch like this, and pull through. And finished making first half double crochet, working second half double crochet in second single crochet. This is really tricky, you really need to find that stitch. Yeah, you finish working 2 single crochet, 2 half double crochet and 3 double crochets, working first double crochet into the first row's half double crochet, back of half double crochet, working a double crochet and working second double crochet on the back of first row's second double crochet, second working second double crochet on the first rows, back of first rows, half double crochet, and working third double crochet on the first rows, first rows, back of first rows, first double crochet, working the third one, working the third double crochet of row 2. So I finished with single crochet, half double crochet and 3 full double crochets. Now we are working triple crochets. We are yarn around twice and insert the hook in the next back of the next stitch, which is the back of first rows, second double crochet, working a triple crochet, working another triple crochet in the next one, two triple crochets finished, working third triple crochet in the next stitch, so here you finished working 3 triple crochets, and the last 2 triple crochets you need to work in the next same stitch. So working 2 triple crochets into the same stitch. I'll tell you why, the reason for working like that. It's really tricky to find the stitch, and plus it's very difficult to look into the camera and crochet. Okay, so got the stitch and inserted the hook in that. So I somehow got the hook inserted into the fourth, to work the fourth triple crochet, and work the triple crochet, which is the fourth one, and you need to work the fifth triple crochet into the same stitch where you worked your fourth triple crochet. It's really very hard to work stitches behind the crab stitch. Okay, but once you get used to it, it's easier. Okay, the reason why you crocheted this last 2 triple crochets into the same stitch is because you need to leave the last 3 triple crochets, stitches behind the last 3 triple crochets of the row 1 free, so it forms the shape of the flower. You must be knowing that by now, because I've already said about that in my first spiral videos. spiral flower videos. And okay, now after you have finished working all the stitches in the second row, the next thing you need to do is the same. Work a crab stitch all the way to the beginning, and once you finish your crab stitch, immediately work a chain of 3, which is the foundation to work single crochets of the third row, and you continue like that till you have 10 petals. Yeah, you need to crab stitch just the way around like this. Crab stitch and get to the beginning of your work. My god, it's really difficult to look into the camera and crochet. As you can see, I'm spoiling the texture of the yarn. Okay, I give up. Well, that's all you need to do. Just work a crab stitch all the way to the beginning, and the same thing follows for every petal or row till you have 10 petals, and the stitches are also remains same: 2 single crochet, 2 half double crochet, 3 double crochet, and 5 triple crochet, and make sure you leave the 3 stitches free. Okay, this is your work, and I have crocheted so many flowers to get to this point. It's all very funny stories. Okay, so that's all you need to do till you have 10 petals, and I'll get back to you guys once I have worked all the 10 petals. So here I am. I've worked all the 10 petals. As I said, worked all 10 petals. This is how your work looks like when you finish working all your 10 petals. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So when you work the last 10th petal and you crab stitch till the beginning, you don't have to work a chain of 3 here as you did in every other round, because this is the end of the row and you're not working the 11th petal. This is the end of all the rows. So just break off the yarn, and before that just chain 1, like this. Just chain 1, work a chain of 1, break off your working yarn, and pull the loose end out of this chain. And just tighten it. And this is how your work looks like. So you need to join this crab stitched end to the beginning where you started your work, the very foundation chains you made. I feel so good about this flower, the once you finish all your work, and when you just put it together, it gives the flat, that spiral kind of texture. It feels so good when it just turns out spiral, and that moment you know that all your hard work crocheting all those 10 petals down, just worth it. Just very worth it. I just love it. Okay, now after you finished all the petals, what you have to do is you need to sew or just insert a piece of yarn in this tip through this work, which comes out of both the ends, just to pull it all together, and I'll show you how. Just take a tapestry needle, like so, and just I'm using black colored yarn, a dark colored yarn, so that you can see how I insert, but you can use the same color yarn which you use to crochet your flower, because this should really not see in the work after you finish everything. So I'm just using a dark color yarn so that you can see it. Insert the needle the way I show here, because that comes nicer than any other way. Just insert at the beginning of your work like this, where you made your single crochet, and go below the crab stitch you made and bring it out in the second row beneath your crab stitch like this. Again, go below the crab stitch, bring it in the third row, go below the crab stitch, you do the same thing all the way around. Beneath the crab stitch. So this is how it looks when you have finished needling this yarn through the center of your work, and make sure that you leave fair amount of yarn at both the ends, so that you find it comfortable to pull it through and close the center gap and then secure it. But that all is done after you finish sewing your 10th petal onto your first petal. Yeah, this is your 10th petal and this is your first petal, and your first petal should go under, the first petal should go under the 10th petal, beneath the crab stitch of the 10th petal, just like this, so that it is similar to it looks similar to all the other rows. So grab the yarn which was your working yarn and you broke off after you finished your 10th petal, and take note that you make sure that you leave a fair amount of yarn before you break off your working yarn, so that you can use it later on to sew it. Use this yarn which you left to sew it onto the first petal, and continue sewing the 10th petal onto the first petal. And also, the reason I showed you to insert this thread just the way I showed you is because even the way of needling this yarn to the center has an effect on the spiral thing on this flower. So if you insert the yarn, just this dark colored yarn, just the way I showed you before, it's better, and it gives a better spiral shape when you pull it all together. So okay, now let's we were talking about sewing on this 10th petal, the first petal. So okay, let's begin now, and pull this other colored, dark colored yarn below your work, and make sure that when you join these two petals, don't join this yarn also. Never get it in between the stitches which you use to join these two petals, because later on you find it really difficult to pull it through and close the center gap. So just take care that you don't involve these two at all while sewing on the 10th petal to your first petal. And just like every other row, when you keep the 10th petal on the first petal, make sure that the crab stitch of the crab stitch of the 10th petal is a little behind the crab stitch of the first petal, just one stitch behind, because that's the same in every other row. As you can see, this crab stitch is a bit behind the next row's crab stitch. Okay, make sure that you do that. And also, when you join these two petals, make sure to leave the last three stitches of the 10th petal free, just like in every other row you did. Leave these last three stitches free, and when you keep your first petal onto the 10th petal, you keep it, leaving this last, keep on it, place on the 10th petal, leaving these last three stitches free. Okay, now join it from the center. So now what to do is, as you can see here, this is the first single crochet of row 1, and this is the second. So insert your needle in the second single crochet chain of your first row and pull through. You're inserting in the second chain because you need the 10th petal to be a little behind the first petal. Okay, you did. And now just turn your work like this. Just turn the back of your work like so. Keep these two yarns really separate. And this is how the back of your work looks like, and these are the three stitches which are free. And once you insert the way I showed you, you'll just get your first petal placed right before the last three stitches, and everything just falls into place once you have the perfect perfect way of stitching it. Okay, now I'll show you how to stitch it. Insert your needle at the back of the first rows, second single crochet, and just like you did in every other row, but here you're inserting a needle instead of a hook. Insert the same way just you inserted your crochet hook at the back side of the 10th petal, and just join the foundation chain. This was actually a foundation chain which you made in the first petal, and join to the first petal's foundation chain and just pull through. As I told you, keep these two yarn really away. Just from these stitches you make, keep these two yarn really away from the stitches, because you don't want to join that. And then hold this like this, hold your work like so that you get the proper grip, and then keep on inserting in the next stitches and first rows foundation chains. Just this way, and you go on. Just sew together, and you'll just get used to it once you started stitching it. Sewing it together, you'll just know how to stitch. Okay, and that was now you completed making all the stitches, leaving the last 3 stitches free. Just secure it. Just put a knot here. And just hide it behind, hide the excess yarn inserting your needle just somewhere like this so that it won't see, or you can just insert it on the line you joined so that so that it won't see in your work. It really won't see. And just break it off. Now is the time to pull through these 2 yarns which you passed it from the center of your work, and it's really fun. Okay, ta-da! This is the big moment, guys, where you know that all your hard work just was worth it. See that? And pull it really hard so that so the center loops just gets closed. Pull it from both the sides. Just now you have your loop closed, the center gap is closed, and now that you tie a knot, tie a really tight knot. So when you tie your knot, the little gap which was left closes completely. So okay, you can just leave this thread just like this if you want to sew it onto something. It's really your wish, or you can just break it off. It's really your wish. So this was your tiny spiral flower. Isn't it pretty? It is pretty. So okay guys, I hope you find this video helpful. Okay, please subscribe and leave the comments, and that's it for now. See you guys. Bye bye.